Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another season of the UK&I Monday Night Skippys live here on RaceSpotTV in support of the Calm Zone. Tonight we are racing at Lime Rock Park for 25 laps, and the sun is shining as usual. The temperatures are pretty average, 64 degrees Fahrenheit in the air, 77 on the track, 1.5 miles in length and 7 turns because we are using the classic layout here today. My name is Linus Bergstrom and I am joined as always by Ryan Walker. And Ryan, last season ended with a very interesting incident in the final corner, giving the championship to Adam Miles. But this season we are at a completely different layout looking on the schedule here with Lime Rock Park, Hockenheim Ring, Road America, Road Atlanta, brand new Hungaro Ring, and the final is at Brands Hatch. So looking back at last season, you think it's gonna be as good this season as we had last one?
I think it could be. I mean, last season we had that fantastic final round at Long Beach with the last lap drama with Adam Miles just beating Benny Simonson to the championship and beating him to the line on the final lap at Long Beach. So I think he'll have a tough job of defending his championship this season with the likes of Benny Simonson, and I think it'll be an interesting battle to see the least.
Definitely will. Qualifying has been concluded here, 10 minutes to set 4 clean laps, and it is Will Redford who is on pole position by over a tenth of a second ahead of last season's champion Adam Miles in second place. Clark Williams and Anthony P.M. Jones on the second row, and Nick Von Roberts and George Mattock on row number 3. And we have Tim Adcock in 7th, Nathan Wade in 8th, Kevin Budgeon in 9th, and Martin Armitage rounding out the top 10. Daniel Tubbs and Greg Roof on row number 6, a new name for the series. Then James A. Barrington, Geoff Randall in 14th, Paul Smithers in 15th, Dave M. Dowson, Seth Brown, Patrick Bennett, Alan Patterson, the league organizer, and then David Clapham rounding out the top 20. Then we have Ben Daniels, Peter Parnell, David Harley, and John Gibson, who failed to set times in qualifying because they ran off the track too much. But 24 cars lining up here for today's race, and still waiting for the front 2 cars. Actually, everybody has gridded up, I think. One car missing there. That is 6th place. I haven't gridded up yet. So George, please join us on the grid. And then we have the 2 cars at the back as well, if they are to take the grid. They've still got 20 seconds, but it's a pretty short run down here to the first corner, which is a long sweeping right-hander. Very easy to get wrong. And if you hit the grass there, you're going to end up in the barriers most likely. Every car is on the grid though. The engines are revving, the red lights are on. And the brand new season of the UK&I Monday Night Skippys is rolling. It's a good getaway from Redford. Adam Miles right away slots over in behind him, and so does everybody else. Everyone trying to get single file here on the inside line. And we have a move there. That's Von Roberts peeking on the inside of PM Jones for turn number 1. Mattock is going to get to the outside of him, then they're side by side behind him for 7th and 8th. That would be Adcock Wade actually going by Tim Adcock for 7th place. Nathan Wade, the guy who got ran into in the final corner of last season, subsequently ending the championship or deciding the championship. But good start here from Will Redford, taking off with the lead ahead of Adam Miles and Clark Williams. Battle still going on there between Jones, Roberts and Mattock for 4th, 5th and 6th.
Yep, as they head into the final corner now, it's still Redford leading at the moment from Miles, and yeah, surprisingly it's been a clean start so far. And lap 1 is someone in close to the front gets a bit sideways on the exit if someone's around in the background.
James A. Barrington is going to run onto pit entry, and he's actually going to go straight onto pit lane and get his spare car out. But other than that, it was just Patrick Bennett who lost out a little bit on the first lap. Going to get a replay up of that little incident for you here. See Barrington coming around the corner here and just loses it on his own, I think. Oh, next corner, down the hill and then into turn number 7. Well, he's got no one near him, just goes too wide. Yeah, puts a wheel in the gravel and goes around and clips the barrier actually pretty hard. But straight onto pit lane, get the spare car out, so it's not all lost for him. But no chance of a top 10 here, I would think, as we have a car further up the field. That's Anthony PM Jones going in the gravel just before turn number 5 on the straightaway, out in the grass actually. And there's another car as well parking it in the barrier. That's no, that is actually Anthony PM Jones. So major issues there. Probably the first off got him some damage, but yeah, we have a replay of that here. Trying to rejoin the track and then goes off again. He's actually off the track the whole way, so not the best of starts for him. Hoping for some more results at the front of the field this season, but obviously in the barriers here early qualifying for, so very unfortunate. We have a 6-car battle at the front though, going all the way from Will Redford down to Nathan Wade, who's gained 2 positions now with PM Jones going off. So great start for him, trying to get his way into the top 5 now, up the hill on the run down to turn number 6 and then into turn number 7. So no chicanes or any other gimmicks around this track, just a straight up and down classic layout, so a lot of high speed, and that's actually going to give us some good drafting going down the straightaway. Now as we come to complete lap number 3, already lapping this lap in well under a minute, so see if Miles can get a run here on Will Redford. They're actually going to be almost 3 wide. I don't think Williams is close enough to do it there though. Von Roberts has a look up the inside of him, but Williams will stay clear around turn number 1, so no changes at the front as Will Redford holds onto the lead. But Adam Miles is right there trying to find an opening, and then Budgeon and Tufts behind them has dropped back almost 2 seconds from going side by side a little too much, so have to keep an eye on those guys as well. But Clark Williams with a great start here, qualifying in 3rd, staying in 3rd. Usually see him hovering around the back of the lead pack, waiting for something to happen, but definitely in contention for the win here early on.
Absolutely, he's had a great start to the race so far, currently sitting in 3rd, but he's under pressure from Von Roberts and also George Matic and a couple of other cars behind him as well. So we've got this pack coming around the final corner, line astern, and as they come across the line to complete another lap, and yeah, they're all moving around trying to stay in the slipstream. But as they head down to turn 1, it's Adam Miles trying to make a move on Redford, but still Redford's doing well, keeping his composure.
He does, holds the inside line there, and it doesn't look like the straightaway is long enough to utilize the draft as much as you usually can do. And Tufts behind there as well has made his way past Kevin Budgeon again, up into 7th, started 11th, so a few spots gained from him. A few other battles further on down the field as well, but side by side for the lead here. Miles looked into the outside, but Redford is going to get clear coming around 5 up the hill. Now Williams has a look on the inside of Adam Miles, trying to move into 2nd, but he's going to back out, not wanting to go side by side here through turn number 6. Don't want to run him out of space. Down into 7 again, on board here with George Matic in 5th place. See if he can get a run. The car in front goes wide on the gravel there. It's Nick Von Roberts getting a bit sideways and all the way over to the right. Von Roberts is first to move back over to the left. They're side by side for the lead again. Miles now on the outside of Redford, but Redford gets ahead early on the turn in there around 1st corner. Big bend into turn number 2 actually straight away, and then this left-hander is turn number 3. Called the left-hander through the SS into the right-hander, turn number 4. Onto No Name Straight, which never actually goes straight. So some weird names coming around here, but Will Redford holds onto this lead, and no real position changes throughout this pack now for a few laps. Even though there's been some attempts, they always seem to find their way back into their original positions. So see how long it takes for Miles to get that lead, but it seems like Will Redford is covering the inside line going into turn number 1 every single lap, and seems to be the place to be. But on the final lap, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, it's Williams goes around, puts a wheel over the curb, and he is around and into the barrier, same as we saw with Barrington earlier on, and he will not go onto pit lane. But just as we said, he had a great start. Clark Williams is pretty much out of this race.
Yeah, as I look at the replay now from Williams' point of view, and it looks like he might have just ducked the wheel on the grass, but I'm just about to find out what happened. And as he comes round the final corner, it looks like he clips inside curb, and yeah, he just clips out a bit of the grass on the outside, and unfortunately he just tags the wall.
Carrying so much speed coming down that hill around the final corner, and does not go into pit lane there. Maybe that'll give him a black flag for unsafe pit entry, because of the way that he came onto the pit entry road there. But very unfortunate for him. A 2nd place there. Adam Miles gets a bit squirrely as well. We saw in the replay from Williams, he was onto the grass coming out of turn number 6 on the previous lap as well as this one, so he'll have to settle down a little bit as he moves to the outside now of Will Redfern. He's gonna be half a car length ahead going into the first corner, but Redford with the inside gets clear early again. Don't know if Miles is hard on the brakes there, giving it back to him. Side by side behind as well, though. Von Roberts goes wide in the grass, trying to stay ahead of George Mattock, who's now on the outside through turn number 3. So Von Roberts gets that position right back, but it seems to be impossible to pass around the outside here.
It's pretty difficult to make a move on the outside around here unless you could try and carry that momentum. I think the best opportunity you've got of doing that is possibly in turn 1, but again you've got to be alongside and hold it on the outside. But it's come round again to the final corner. They're still all line astern, and Redford at the moment still leader, but it looks like Miles has got a great exit. He might be able to get the run down the Sam Posey straight.
He's not going to be able to put the car up the inside coming into turn number 1. So again, side by side to learn. Redford leads every time across the start finish line, but he's half a car length ahead into the braking zone, and then as soon as they get on the brakes, Redford just gets ahead and Miles slots back into second place. Von Roberts is right there as well, but cannot find a way past Adam Miles. So see if he might hold it around the outside a bit better on the final lap. At the moment he just keeps slotting back in. We're on lap number 9 of 25, so almost 2.5 well, 10 out of 25 laps completed, so gets a bit of a gap there now, Will Redford. So maybe Miles is starting to go defensive on Nicholas Von Roberts, but he's got Matic behind him as well, and Nathan Wade now with Clark Williams being out of this has moved closer to these guys as they're all wide on the grass this time. Miles super wide, that's going to give Von Roberts a run on him, but now Miles is going to go defensive. Von Roberts is past and they're actually going to be 3 wide into the corner. Matic comes through up into second place. Miles on the inside, oh, as he goes around, Wade goes a little bit too deep into turn number 1. He's going around into the grass, rejoins the track here just ahead of Budgeon and Tufts, but he's not going to be able to hold them off, so he's going to drop all the way down into 7th as we're going to get a replay here now. This is all the way back in turn number 6 as we see Miles go wide in the or in 7. Miles goes around. There's 3 wide into the first corner. He just goes a little bit too deep. They're hard on the brakes, loses the rear of the car and just can't catch it. But thankfully he's able to stop early on the grass to rejoin the track there as Budgeon and Tufts comes through. But he's now just over a second behind those two, so gonna probably be able to get back in the fight for 5th place. But this top 4 is pretty much done for him.
And yeah, these guys scrapping away behind Redford, that's allowing Redford to just pull away ever so slightly and build a bit of a gap. But as we come round turn 1 and turn 2, it's Von Roberts up into second now with Miles falling back to 3rd and Wade in 4th. And unfortunate for George Mattock because he was having a good run there, but just carried too much speed into turn 1 and unfortunately he went around. But still, it looks like Wade's got a run on Miles, but around this part of the track, you can't really make any moves.
And Von Roberts just pulled away a little bit now from Miles again. Wade back there looking. Wade started in 8th place, made it all the way up to 4th with a couple of incidents happening ahead. So have to see if he can make his way up into the top 3 in the battle behind there. George Mattock is caught up now to Kevin Budgeon and Daniel Tufts to make it a 3-car battle again for that 5th place, as we see Nathan Wade having a look up the inside of Adam Miles here, see if he can make it up into that 3rd place. He's going to be early on the brakes though, so Miles gets to hold on to that position as Tufts and Budgeon is going at it. George Mattock not really there yet, but Tufts holding on to that position for now. Started 11th up into 5th place, so good gains from him as well. Keeps swapping positions back and forth with Budgeon, but I think Mattock is just a little bit quicker than these guys. So once he gets there, I think he'll be able to move on past, not easily, but I think it's not going to be too much of an issue for him. Just got to be careful to not do that same mistake again as they come down now around turn number 6 into downhill onto the straight. See if Mattock can make it work around these guys as he goes wide in the grass there again, loses some momentum down into 7, holds it on the curb this time. Going to get a massive slipstream here. Now Budgeon moves to the inside of Daniel Tufts, who does not cover the inside like the leaders do. So Kevin Budgeon moving up into 5th place. Matic is not going to follow him up the inside this time, but now he's right there. So coming to complete this lap and into turn number 1 next time, I think he might be able to make a move, unless he does it already into turn number 5. But Budgeon up into 5th. Now Tufts looking to find a way back through here around turn number 3 into turn number 4 onto the back straightaway. Get close enough here to make a move. Matic drops back a little bit coming onto this straight, so probably just waiting for the end of the front straightaway. Gets a bit wider again, but gets back up across the line before the grass appears. Into turn number 6, backs out early again, but still goes a bit wide. Uses the whole curb, no grass this time. Might be a bit too close to Tufts now as they come onto the straightaway. A little bit sideways there for Tufts as well, but great exit from both of these guys. Now we might see a 3-wide situation here as Matic moves to the inside and Tufts moves to the middle. Budgeon has to give. He's going to move back into 7th, and Matic with the inside line is going to take both positions up into 5th place. So Tufts stays in 6th as Budgeon drops to 7th, but they're still side by side now into turn number 3. But Tufts with the inside holds onto that position. Now he's actually going to make some contact. He's going to go a bit wider than Tufts, and Budgeon drops, lets off to give him all the space that he needs. But both of them going to be able to keep going, and that's definitely going to help Matic. He's already got half a second down to Daniel Tufts thanks to that.
Yeah, it's a great recovery from Matic considering he spun out in turn 1, but managed to regroup and get going again. He's back up to P5, and I think that's probably the best that he can probably get, because this leading pack we're watching now, they're just too far ahead now as they're all moving around trying to get the slipstream heading down to turn 1, and it looks like I thought we were going to go 3 wide into turn 1 there. It looks like Miles trying to sneak up the inside there, but he can't do anything about it. Actually, I take that back, he's kind of up the inside at the moment.
As the outside into turn 3, though, nice little move there, faking to go 3 wide and ducking up the inside, but not enough to get past Nicholas Von Roberts. So Von Roberts is going to hold on to that 2nd position for now, but Miles looking to find an opening. Wade is back there as well, wanting to get into that 3rd position again. Moving up further, but nothing to do right now as Miles gets a little bit grass there again. He's using all of the track, all these guys actually putting wheels in the grass everywhere, but for some reason it only seems like they lose control when they do it. Coming around the final corner here at the bottom of the hill onto the straightaway again. Redford straight off to the right to cover the inside. Actually goes as far as going in the grass, but now they're going to be 3 wide coming down the straightaway. Von Roberts in the middle, Miles on the outside. Again, he backs out and then moves up the inside of Nicholas Von Roberts. So he's done that move twice now, but he cannot get clear. As Von Roberts gets in the grass, gets a bit wobbly. That's going to allow Miles to get almost clear anyway, but he's going to have the inside for turn number 4. Von Roberts backs out to move in behind. So Adam Miles nicely done there, moving up into 2nd. Von Roberts though has the overspeed coming down a straightaway, but lifts off and stays behind. But Von Roberts, great job there to keep control of the car coming out of turn number 2. As he gets in the grass, a lot of sideways there as well. Nathan Wade coming up the hill. Don't think these cars actually get airborne, but there is not a lot of downforce coming over that hill, so you want to keep it as straight as you possibly can down through the final corner to complete lap number 16. So going to be 9 laps to go this time around, and Will Redford holds on to that lead as they're all going into the grass there, trying to cover off the inside now. Miles is going to let off real early here, give Von Roberts some overlap around the outside, and he holds it around there a lot better than what they've done to Redford earlier, and he's actually going to complete the pass around the outside of 1 and 2. Now has the inside in 3, and he's actually going to be clear. Wade looks up the inside of Miles as well, but Miles clears him going into turn number 4. So brave move there from Nicholas Von Roberts, but it definitely showed everybody now that it can be done if you're just brave enough to hold it out there. So Von Roberts definitely now in contention for the win again as he's back into 2nd, and Will Redford probably saw that in his rear view mirror and knows that Von Roberts can get it done around the outside.
Yep, it looks like Von Roberts is closer to Redford now, and it looks like he's got a great run in the exit of the final corner as again Redford moves to the right to defend the inside line, and Von Roberts has got the slipstream, he's got the run as they head down to turn 1, but can he hold it on the outside? He's trying it, but it looks like actually he might be able to hold it for if he can hold it on the outside, he'll have the inside for the next corner.
He Has overspeed coming out of turn number 2. He has the inside now for 3, and he's not going to be clear. So Redford has the inside going onto the straightaway, but with better speed around the outside. Von Roberts is going to take the lead, and here comes Miles as well, moving up into second position. He's going to be on the outside though into turn number 5. They're going to be side by side up the hill. Redford gives him plenty of room. Still side by side now up into turn number 6. Somebody's got to give, otherwise Redford is going to run away with the victory here. Redford gets clear there as Miles backs out a little bit early and gives that position back to Will Redford. But Nicholas Von Roberts around the outside now from P number 5 up into the lead, and he will not go defensive because he's well clear of these guys. Miles has to look up the inside now of Redford, and Wade makes it 3 wide, but they both back out in time to make a single file around turn number 1. Gets some smoke there from, I believe that was Von Roberts, might have locked up a little bit now that he's in clean air and don't have a reference point ahead of him to see where he has to slow down and which line to take, but still holds on to the lead here. And Nathan Wade 4th in this line, currently with the fastest lap of the race of a 56.2, which is 2/10 faster than any of the other two have gone, but he's got plenty of draft back there, so no real surprises. We've seen him come sideways up the hill again and coming to 6 laps to go now. Redford trying to find a way past Nicholas Von Roberts, and he's probably going to have a move to the outside now come the end of the start-finish straight. Still 4 cars in contention for the win, and Matic has taken over 5th and taken off from those guys behind him, but he is almost 8 seconds behind these guys as Redford moves to the outside. He did not have the lead at the line, but he's going to be clear by the time they turn into turn number 1, so Redford back in the lead. Von Roberts peeks it back at the inside, but that's going to give him the outside into turn number 3. Miles is there now on the inside line, so Redford back to the lead. Miles trying to take second place back. He's going to have the outside now, what we saw last lap. That's going to be the advantage. Slight contact there, so Miles up into second. Von Roberts keeps control of the car though. Down into third. Here comes Nathan Wade trying to follow through as well, but he's going to back out and stay in that position. So Von Roberts from the lead to third in half a lap there as well. So yeah, you can basically win it from anywhere, it feels like. Maybe not from 4th place, but second and third going on to that final lap definitely has the chances. We're coming now to 5 laps to go of this race.
As we come across the line, and again Redford going defensive yet again, and Miles has got the run heading down to turn 1. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to go on the outside. He was slightly ahead there, but only just. But again, he can't get the move done, and Redford holds a position for now. But I think the person that's in probably the best position at the moment is Nathan Wade. If any of these top 3 in front of him have any contact or take each other out.
He's been biding his time back there, waiting for something to happen. Tried to make some moves earlier, got up into 3rd momentarily, but right now just sitting back here in 4th place, waiting for something to happen. Von Roberts having a peek there on Adam Miles, but stays behind, not wanting to make a move into turn number 6. Now coming to the downhill again into the final corner. Bit of grass there for Nathan Wade, but no issues as he keeps up with these guys. Redford now moving straight over to the right, and Adam Miles gets the overlap right away, and this time he's actually going to have the lead across the start-finish line, Adam Miles. So the pass was made before the line that time, and that is crucial coming to the final lap. He's going to stay on the outside this time around, but Redford is going to get clear of Adam Miles. Von Roberts peeks it in there, but Miles gets clear of him on the exit, holds on to 2nd place. So Von Roberts is able to get it done around the outside, but it doesn't look like Adam Miles has the grip in the car to do it. So I think Von Roberts, if he's in 2nd or on the outside there coming onto the white flag lap, he might be able to get it done. But Adam Miles, he will need that inside line if he's going to get anywhere further up than 2nd place at the moment.
Absolutely. As coming round now, Redford still holding the lead, but only just. But Miles is closer than he has been ever before, and as he come round the final corner, it looks like Miles has got a great run, and so is Nicholas Von Roberts, as they all go defensive yet again. And they're going 3 wide, and there was just about contact there.
don't think Von Roberts expected Will Redford to pull out there, but they're going to be 3 wide now. Miles on the outside, and this time he holds it better than he did last time. Gets on the throttle out there, and there is going to be some overlap now coming down into turn number 3. I thought Von Roberts was going to try the undercut there, or the crossover, but he did not. Miles now with the inside line. That's going to give him the preferred outside lane into turn number 4. If he has overlap here, he's going to have overspeed, and he will take the lead. Might have had some contact there, but it looks like Miles has the overspeed. They're going to be side by side still coming into turn number 5 up the hill. Redford gave space last time, and he gives even more room this time. Still side by side for lead now coming up into turn number 6. Von Roberts is nowhere to go. Redford gets clear of Adam Miles though. Both gets a bit of grass there. Von Roberts backs out too much, so here comes Wade around the outside, but he will back out going on to the straightaway. It's going to be 2 laps to go this time by him. Back over to the right goes Redford, and here comes Adam Miles once again trying to make that move, but he showed last time around that if you're in second you can lead at the line. This time though he missed it by 4 1,000ths of a second. Around the outside now, he's almost clear on the turn in, but Redford gets it back now coming down towards turn number 3. It's going to be inside line again for Adam Miles. This time he might even be able to get clear, as here comes Von Roberts. He's going to follow him in there. Miles with the lead. Now it's going to be Redford or Von Roberts. Redford gets clear onto the straightaway, I think. Yes, he does. He's just able to clear him before the left-hand kink there. So Redford back into second place, but if they would have stayed side by side, I think Von Roberts would have been able to take that position away from him.
Quite possibly, as they come round and up to the final corner now. So as Von Roberts is wide on the grass, ever so slightly as they're coming round now, just about to start the final lap, and Adam Miles is still leading. But don't be surprised if they try and go 3 wide, they're heading down to turn 1, and even 4 wide, as it looks like they're going to do it.
Had a bit of a wobble there coming on to the start finish line straight, Miles, and that's going to possibly cost him the win here as Redford gets back in the lead now. Miles and Von Roberts side by side for second. Miles needs to get clear here and get right onto the back of Will Redford if he's going to have a chance to do anything coming to the start finish line. And they're coming up on Greg Ruff as well. In 18th position, see if he backs out and lets these guys race, or if he's going to give draft to Will Redford coming down the straightaway. That could be the deciding factor, but Will Redford has a couple, almost 3 tenths down to Adam Miles as we're coming into the final 2 corners of the race. Turn number 6, and Will Redford, he's well clear. He's going to have the win here. On board now with Nicholas Von Roberts. Is he going to be able to do anything to Adam Miles? So Miles will have plenty of draft from Will Redford, so this is going to be a tough one, but Will Redford comes to the line to win the race. Adam Miles holds on to second. Nathan Wade has a look on Von Roberts, but Roberts is going to finish 3rd, ahead of Nathan Wade in 4th. So pretty much no side-by-side action coming to the line there, unfortunately, but we do have a battle for 6th and 7th as Mattock holds on to 5th, but Tufts beats Kevin Budgeon by 5 1,000ths even of a second. And then a little bit further back we have the battle for 13th and 14th between Bennett and Dowson still going on, coming down the hill here, but that will be Patrick Bennett holding off Dave Dowson there for 13th and 14th position respectively, and behind those guys there is no real battles going on as league organizer Alan Patterson cruises across the line in 16th, and then Tim Adcock, who started in 7th, comes home in 17th, unfortunately. But still, great race. Unfortunately, we didn't get the side-by-side action coming to the finish line that we had hoped for, but the racing up until that final lap was amazing, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great way to kick off the new season, and a great battle for the win with Redford prevailing in the end. But that battle for second was so close at the line.
Definitely it was, but Will Redford comes away with a win in the first race of the season here. He had quite a few wins last year as well, even though he didn't do all the races. But Adam Miles, last season's champion, less than 2 tenths behind him. Nicholas Von Roberts in 3rd, Nathan Wade in 4th. All those guys within 4 tenths of a second. Then Kevin Budgeon actually getting that 5th place ahead of George Mattock in 6th and Daniel Tufts in 7th. Got my names mixed up there. Paul Smithers in 8th, Seth Brown in 9th, Jeff Randall rounds out the top 10. Then we have Martin Armitage in 11th. Clark Williams, who had that early incident, recovers to finish 12th. So great job from him. Dave Dowson in 13th, Patrick Bennett 14th, James Barrington in 15th, Alan Patterson in 16th. Tim Adcock in 17th, and Greg Ruff able to hold on to that lead lap position to finish 18th, and then Peter Parnell, the only car to finish 1 lap down in 19th. David Clapham 15 laps down with a DNF, Ben Daniels 20 laps down, and Anthony PM Jones, as we saw earlier there in the barrier, 23 laps down. And David Harley and John Gibson did not make it to the grid, unfortunately, but they are scored in 23rd and 24th. So let's go to the waiting room and see we do have a race winner. Will Redford, what a way to kick off the brand new season. Great battle there for the lead, but on the final lap it looked like you had it all the way through. So congrats on the win. Talk us through how your race went.
Hi guys. Yeah, it was a good race overall. Good quality. Put me on pole by 2 tenths, so I'll take that. Start was good, and then my plan was to just defend for the entire race, and that is essentially what happened. There was a few overtakes when people were brave around the outside, but really it was just a matter of holding the inside into turn 1, and that was it really for the entire race, and came away with the win.
Great job there. So you planning on doing full season this year, or is it going to be the odd race like last season?
I would like to do the full season. We'll see what happens. Obviously, with I'm at college and I've got IRL racing, so might be a bit tired on a few Mondays. But I plan to do the full season, and I hope that all the people that have joined today stick around to do the full season as well.
We hope so as well. Any favorite tracks on the schedule then throughout the year, or throughout the last part of the year?
Actually, I've not looked at the schedule yet, so give me a second. I'll just find the UI.
We'll go to the next question then. Anybody you want to send a shout out to before we'll let you go?
Yeah, shout out to you guys for the broadcast, Alan for hosting the league, everybody who's turned up today. Obviously, this is a great turnout in numbers compared to what we've had the past few weeks. Shout out to my dad, and as always, shout out to my sponsors, Nest in the Woods. And to answer your question, I've got to say Brands Hatch, because I've driven there in real life now, so I'll be interested to see how it is in the Skippys.
Final race of the season. Expect to see Will Redford to win that race. Also, your dad, we want to see him back in the Skippys as well. But thank you for joining us here today, and I hope to see you again next week. Next up, we have Ryan standing by with our third place finisher, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick Von Roberts finishing in third, and they involved in that battle for the win for most of the race. And Nick, that looked like a fantastic battle with you guys. That basically changing positions every lap on the home straight. And every time I've seen you guys going side by side into turn 1, especially trying to go around the outside, I won't deny I had to hold my breath.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. It's like that turn 1. I'm amazed we go away with it every lap. There's usually always contact there of some kind, and someone goes out. But yeah, it's a good race, hard work, and fair play. Will had the edge on all of us. I think he had a bit more speed. It was a great race.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what was your tactics in that battle as well? Did you want to try and just basically, if you got a chance, go for a move straight away, or is it just kind of hang back and just see how it goes, or do you just basically think, nope, I'm in with a chance of a win, I'm just going for it?
Yeah, I was going for the win. It's hard. I think fourth is even harder to get past anyone, but third, you sort of when the front two are battling, you've got to risk a 3 wide, and that's usually ends in tears. But I got into second, and then I messed up when I got into first and dropped back to third again. But you need to be at the front really on this track.
And looking ahead to the season as well, there's some good tracks on the schedule as well. You've got the likes of Hockenheim, Road America, Road Atlanta. You've got the new Hungaroring track as well. Any tracks in that list that you're looking forward to?
Hungaroring was a good race. That'll be a good one. I've done a last week. I did a bit of racing on that, and that'll be a good one for the Skippys, I imagine. Yeah, that will be a good one. Next week will be, because it's a bit of a new layout that no one's done before, so that should be another interesting one. Yeah.
And lastly, before we let you go, Nick, anyone that you want to give a thank you or a shout out to?
Yeah, obviously thank you to you guys every week for doing this, and obviously Alan as well, and just congratulate Will on the win.
Good stuff. As that was a third place finisher, Nick Von Roberts joining us, and thanks for joining us on the booth, Billy and Nick, and we look forward to seeing you on track next week.
Great. Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Thank you for that. Right, next up we have second place finisher eventually joining us, Adam Miles. That looked like a very tough battle throughout the whole race. A lot of moves trying to get into the lead, and you got it a couple of times, and then Warner Roberts got past you as well. How was that from your point of view?
Yeah, it was an extremely close race. I didn't really expect anything else from Lime Rock Park. You just got to keep your foot flat through as many corners as you can to get the run onto the next straight. And I mean, outside of the first 5 laps, where I knew going around the outside of turn 1 was the way to go. You just don't want to do that on cold tires. You're just going to end off in the grass. So I sort of let it settle down for maybe 5 or 6 laps, and then just tried the outside a few times. But of course, Will was always defending the inside. So I can't remember how Nick got me, but then I think I got Nick back up the inside again. I mean, when P2 tries to go around the outside of P1, there's the opportunity for P3 to sneak back up the inside. So yeah, I think I got nose ahead into the lead for maybe a lap there at the end, or maybe just fraction of a lap. But I messed up, I think, 2 corners from the end, which meant I didn't have a chance to draft Will down to the start finish line. Because if you get a really good draft, you can just about get someone before the line. But yeah, I'm happy with that. I mean, last season taught me P2s can win the championship, so I'll just keep getting P2s if that's what it takes.
Definitely coming off that championship from last season. So any particular track that you're looking forward to the most this season?
I'm with Nick. I mean, we did the week 13 race we did at Hungaroring last week. I think Nick and I spent almost the entire last lap side by side. So I'm really looking forward to that one. We haven't been to Circuit of the Americas, at least in recent memory, that maybe not even in the last year and a half. I can't remember going there. So yeah, Hungaroring and Kota, just because they're a little bit different to what we've done recently.
Cool. And anyone you want to send a shout out to before we let you go?
Just as always, you guys for the broadcast, and then the top 4 there. Will, congrats on the win, and Nick and Nathan for keeping it clean up front.
Cool. Thank you for that, and hope to see you next week as well. Next up, we do have 4th place finisher Nathan Wade for a quick interview. Ryan, go ahead.
Yep, Nathan was involved in that battle as well for the win, and they eventually finished 4th in the end after qualifying 8th. And Nathan, it looked like you guys were having a ton of fun out there, and you must have been, you're pretty much 4th for pretty much most of that race in that battle, but 4th in the end. It's still a decent start to the season, and you would say?
Hi guys. Yeah, it's good start to the season. It's just a shame that I was in 4th, because you're just in that unlucky position that you can't really do anything. You don't get enough draft to really make a move on 3rd place. But when I was fighting Adam, especially in turn 1, he was outbraking me every time. So I didn't want to make a move around the outside and cause any big crashes. I was happy just to sit in 4th and just pray that something in front maybe happened. But I got quite lucky at the start after my poor qualifying to gain the few places just on people's mistakes. So overall, it's a pretty decent race.
And what's your aims for the season? Looking ahead, is it just try and finish as well as possible in the championship, or you maybe thinking outside the box and maybe trying to go for it?
I'm pretty sure I'm probably only going to be able to do maximum of 8 races this season. So I'm just aiming as best as I can, because obviously most people are going to have 2 additional weeks on me, 2 additional races on me, which sucks for me, but it is what it is. I'm probably going to aim for a top 5 this season, because I just missed it last season. So yeah, if I can get a top 5 with 2 extra drop weeks, I'll be happy with that.
And looking ahead to the season as well, looking at the schedule, we've got a couple of new tracks on the schedule. But for you, what tracks are you looking forward to this season?
Definitely Red Bull Ring again. Obviously, it's the place that I won, so I'm looking forward to that track again. And definitely Laguna Seca as well. Absolutely love that track. I think that track's brilliant. So I can't wait to drive that in a Skippy. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
And lastly, before we let you go, Nathan, anyone that you want to give a quick shout out to?
You guys, as always, for running the broadcast. You always do a great job. Alan for running the league. And then everyone that turned out tonight to the session. We had a great turnout tonight, so if we can try and keep that for the rest of rest of the season. That'd be brilliant. Great racing.
Great stuff. And again, congratulations on the P4 tonight, Nathan. Look forward to seeing you on track next week.
Cheers, guys.
And lastly, we have George Mask. You were in the battle for the top spot there, but I accidentally got a bit too hard there into turn number 1, getting a bit sideways. Talk me through what happened there.
Yeah, I was having fun and then I bottled it basically. But yeah, it was a really fun race actually, really close for the guys at the front. I think Will was controlling the pace a little bit, and so it was a little tricky first few laps with the cold tyres. And yeah, I just had a really good run on Nick and Adam, and I knew if I could clear them, then we could maybe try and work our way to Will. So I went for it, and yeah, it was just too late on the brakes. I thought the other guys braked a little early, so I'd go like 20 meters late, but yeah, I went way too late and thought I'd saved it, but it just snapped a little bit too much. But yeah, I thought I'd try and make it interesting. Didn't pay off this time.
Still, great save and great race and good recovery, finishing there in 6th place. So anybody you want to send a shout out to?
Shout out to you guys, of course, for broadcasting. It's good to see the numbers are getting back up as well. Hopefully they'll continue to rise. Shout out to Alan for the league and the Discord server and everything. Shout out to Will for the win.
Cool, and shout out to you for joining us for a post-race interview, hoping that first win will come soon. So see you again next week. So, first race of the season turned out to be a spectacular one. No major crashes, thankfully, and a bigger turnout than we had, I think, all of last season. So, hoping that that will keep on rising. Next week, we head to the Hockenheim Ring for the National A layout. Same time, same place here on RaceSpotTV. You've been watching the UK and Ireland Monday Night Skippys with me, Linus Brostrom, and Ryan Walker, with Connor Maddock doing the work behind the cameras here today. Until next week, though, take care, everybody, stay safe, and have a good week. Good night.